To the fifth day of the FDP on AI and data science tools for future generation learning. I request Rekha S. Madam to introduce the resource person's profile.
Good morning, everyone. It's my great privilege to introduce today's guest, Mr. Santhosh K. an accomplished and visionary IT management professional with over 20 years of experience in project management, IT operations, solution architecture, and service delivery. A graduate in electronics and communication engineering from UEC, Bangalore University, and an MBA holder in finance and HR from DAPMI Manipal. Mr. Santhosh has a remarkable career spanning across critical industries such as aviation, healthcare, life science, and technology. His core strengths lie in seamlessly managing global projects, building high-performing teams, and driving transformation initiatives through innovative IT solutions and agile practices. Currently serving as a project manager at Value Labs India Private Limited, Hyderabad, Mr. Santhosh has successfully led major initiatives for clients like United Airlines, Celgene, and Abbott Healthcare. His expertise includes infrastructure upgrades, test automation, management, and stakeholder engagement, all aimed to enhance operational efficiency and customer satisfaction. A passionate problem solver and strategic leader, he has consistently demonstrated the ability to blend technology with business goals, making him an inspiring figure of professionals and students alike. We are privileged to have him with us today to share his rich industrial insights and experience. Thank you, Anurag.
Thank you.
What was the key takeaway from our last talk when we talked about application of the agentic model in agriculture? Anyone can summarize? When those who were present. How AI can help in agriculture? The current structure of AI, how it can help. See, you are the faculty. If you are not able to verbalize, then what happens is the students will not be able to understand. So one of the key characteristics of any good academician is that they have to verbalize it. Even if the student asks 1,000 times, you should be in a position to explain 1,000 times. So the talking is one of the key things. I would not even say communication skills. I would say talking itself is a key strength of a good lecture, a good academician. So you need to talk a lot and you need to imbibe a lot. Imbibe means what? You will be getting a lot of information from a lot of people. Maybe students, maybe from your fellow peers, maybe from your superiors, maybe from outside. You will get a lot of information. But you will have to take all that information, process it, process that data, make it as an information tool and start using it. So please make sure that don't take an FDP as something like, oh, I'm going to learn something new. It is like you're improving on your soft skills also. That is also very important. Okay. So wherever you go in the world, your talking skills will matter a lot. You might have seen the best academician in the world is the one who will give you the best. Their oratory skills will be the best. Okay. So that's very important. You don't have to be like Shashi Tharoor to use the best of English languages. But the important part is the smoothness with which you are able to talk and you're not stammering anywhere. You're not, you're not doing that. Those are, that matters. Okay. So even if you take one class for us, today, the thing is that I see people walk quickly to the attendance machine, they put their attendance, they come to the class, things like that. Maybe after a few years, when you ask a student why you're not coming to the class, the student will ask you a question your classes are not interesting for me. That's why I'm not coming. Okay. So if you have visited any of the Western universities or in Germany or any European universities, the number of students who are there will be like 2 people, 3 people only for a course. Not much, because the cost of education is so high over there that the number of people who can afford to take that level of education will be very few. And out of that, if there are 2 to 3 people are there, out of 2 to 3 people, 2 people will be Indians and one will be a Chinese person. So the localites themselves will not be in a position to take such courses. But we are lucky enough because we are able to see advanced subjects at a low cost for us. So, if you want to learn something on marketing skills, Philip Kotler talks about marketing strategy. Now, if I want to learn marketing strategy from Harvard University, I have to pay crores of rupees to do that. But the same thing is available in India from IIM Bangalore or Ahmedabad at fraction of that cost. But you are learning the same thing. You are not learning something different. But the biggest problem for us is that we are not understanding the value of that. You know, if for example oxygen is switched off from the environment for let's say 2 minutes, we all suffocate to death. But we are taking that for granted. Oxygen in the atmosphere, we are taking it for granted. So we should stop taking things for granted and start understanding the value of it. And also, when you teach the students, don't teach them in such a way that, okay, this is the end of the curriculum. Never teach like that. Have a conversation which goes on for decades. If I want to meet Dr. Raghunandan, maybe after 1 year, I won't say hi, hello, and all. I will start from the point where I stopped last year. I'll say, oh, Raghunandan, how is your second PhD coming up? And what is that you're working on? So that is how I continue. So your way of teaching the student should be in such a way that you know what the student is doing, what the student is capable of doing, and you are able to encourage that person, motivate that person to go further. Who knows, that same student whom you are motivating today can be your PhD student tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow they will say, no, sir, I would like to do my postdoctoral thesis under you. So, can you please guide us? That way. So, let's move on to the concept of the agentic AI. So, we have seen a lot of these slides in the last part. What agentic AI or the AI agents and the AI bots will be able to do it for you. For example, they are able to operate independently. That's a very important part. Okay. And they can analyze, for example, let's take an example of healthcare applications. Okay. So in healthcare, you've got two basic phases are there. One is the manufacturing of medicines. One is the application of that medicine. The application of medicine comes in the place of where hospitals, healthcare institutes, they come into picture. Then there is a manufacturing also, identifying molecules which will help the human body and making volumizing that medicine is the manufacturing part. Okay. So last year we worked with a company called BMS, Bristol Myers Squibb. Mr. Myers Squibb has what is called as CAR T cells. CAR T cells means, see today, if you want to, like for example, in homeopathy, they took a idea from the homeopathy. In homeopathy, what they do, they take the virus which is causing the disease, they weaken the virus. Means the virus will be becomes so weak that it cannot create any more disease for you. And they make small pellets out of that they make homeopathy medicine out of that virus, and they say, take 2 pellets of this, 2 small pellets, 2 tablets. It will be in a small, microscopic form, and you have to ingest it. When you ingest that into your body, the body will create the response to that virus. Similarly, there is something called cell therapy in the pharmaceutical space or the life sciences space, where they take the cancer cells, they weaken the cancer cell, they create a bunch of cancer cells which are very weak, and they ingest it into the body. When they ingest it into the body will, immunity will take over. Because for the human body, anything that you give is a foreign organism. You eat food, it's a foreign organism. You drink water, it's a foreign organism. So what happens? It will take that weakened cancer cells. From the weakened cancer cells, it will create immunity for that cancer. This is called cell therapy. So in next, I would say in next 10 years, this cell therapy will also come into India, where they will make sure that you will be able to overcome cancer. Okay? So how many people have done any study on, and even though you're an engineering student, have anybody done any study on cancer? How to cure cancer? Have you seen a demographic study of which type of people don't get cancer and which type of people get cancer? You're not done anything. The person who starves a lot means he doesn't know, उसको मालूम नहीं है कि उसको next खाना कब मिलेगा. That type of person will never get cancer. You know the reason why? Any guesses?
Sugar.
Huh?
Sugar.
Sugar, one reason. Another? Cancer cells, for a cancer cell to thrive, to grow, it needs oxygen. And the oxygen can only be given to a cell through blood. Who supplies oxygen to the cells? Any human cell or any organism? The blood. Blood is the only one. Blood can carry oxygen. Right? Now, if I tell, somehow I make sure that the blood cannot carry oxygen to any part of the cell, what happens? There are 2 types of main cells in the body, if you categorize them, right? One is a cell which can live without oxygen, and it can survive only on the fat deposits which are available to it. And there is another type of cell which can only survive because of oxygen. These cells which survive only because of oxygen, these are cancerous cells. There are good cells also which survive on oxygen, but majority of them are cancerous cells, or they are cancerous cells because they are called as malignant cells. You've got 2 types of there, benign and malignant. Benign means it's a tumor. Okay, you have a tumor and that tumor will just do nothing to you. It will just remain there, and it will, one day it might be, you can remove it through surgery, or it may live with you till the end of your life. This cancerous cells, if you starve them a lot, then what happens? The cancer will go by itself. If you go to Hassan Institute of Medical Sciences, or even if you go to the best cancer hospital which is there in Bangalore also, the doctor will tell, by looking at you, if you're like starving and if you're not, you're just eating the rice and sambar and you're just surviving, you'll say, yeah, this fellow doesn't need chemotherapy or radiology, he will survive. But if a fat person like me goes, he will say, boss, you need to go for chemotherapy, you need to go for radiology, I'll give you the costliest medicines. So to extend your lifespan. You will not say I will cure cancer. You will only say I can extend your lifespan. All these things came as part of AI study. When people were at the nascent stage of data science, data mining, data analysis, people realized that these were already known to Indians 5,000 years back. We didn't have cancer hospitals. We didn't have a cancer specialist. We didn't have oncologist. We never needed to. If a exam for postgraduate medical was written, the last option to be taken was cancer specialist. Then what happens? So that is the thing, that cancer was never with us, but today the cancer is there because of too much of food being ingested into your body. When too much food is ingested into your body, there is too much of these cancerous cells grow. Even as you sit today, as you pass through the entire day, your body generates cancerous cells and it will destroy. As you are sitting through the day, it is generating and it is killing you. But you are not aware of it. But the time when the growth becomes more than the termination part, that is when cancer will be shown to you as phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like that. So companies like Autolus, then we have Celgene, these companies, they worked on this cell therapy and they came up and they said the fasting that Indians do every Ekadashi or every 15 days they do is the best way to treat cancer. Why? Because you will accumulate cancer cells for 15 days and then one fine day you will do Nittupavasa. Nittupavasa means you will not drink water, you will not eat food for entire 18 hours or 24 hours. Then what happens? All the cancer cells will be targeted and they will be terminated by the water. This is how the cancer cells are. Why they say cancer can affect any part of the body? Then why doesn't it affect heart? Any question? Any answer? Tell me, sir. Why doesn't it affect? Why doesn't it do? Oh, everything works. Liver works 24 hours. Your kidney works 24 hours. Your stomach is working 24 hours.
He's pumping blood.
Uh, the reason is the way you are looking at the things. Right? Heart pumps blood to all the organs while it pumps blood to all the organs, it is passing on the nutrients and the oxygen to all the organs. But for he himself to work, for the heart to work by itself, it has its own separate system. If you ask any cardiologist, they will tell you the beauty of the heart, that the heart by itself will do all the jobs for you. It will pump the heart, it will do. But for he himself, for the heart to work by itself, it has its own system. It has its own arteries, it has its own veins. Those will not, they will only do the dedicated job of making sure that the heart works. Their job is not to supply blood to any other organ. They will do. And that blood that they supply to the heart to pump, to make the heart to work, is not oxygenated. Does not have oxygen. When there is no oxygen, how can cancer cells grow on a heart? So this is the beauty of how the AI has helped you to identify and come up with solution for all these various diseases, fatal diseases. that way. Okay. So, and there is another field of study in healthcare, what is we call it as clinical trials and pharmacovigilance. If anybody is interested in doing a doctoral program research, you can do that. Like AI in pharmacovigilance, AI in clinical trials, you can do that. Where take the last few decades of data for a particular molecule, and from that, what was the effect on the human body because of that. You can see recently one of the reputed hospitals in Bangalore was caught for giving new medication to poor people without their knowledge. You are supposed to take a writing from them, approval from them before giving a new medicine. But they were giving a non-approved medicine to the patient without their knowledge because the patients were poor and they didn't know whether you're going to inject poison or whether you inject medicine. That patient will not be able to. So these are called invalid clinical trials, illegal clinical trials, and the hospital was penalized for that. But today that scope remains where you can apply the artificial intelligence for a large life sciences company based on these clinical trials, whether this particular molecule will help you or will not help you. If the molecule helps, in that case, that can be volumized, can be manufactured, and can be sold in the world. That way. Okay. So how many have heard of a, many of them, your parents or your uncles and aunts, they go for kneecap surgery. You might have heard of that, right? But in America, they don't do kneecap surgery. They have a drug called Humira, which is developed by a company called AbbVie. All they do is that Humira is a gel-like injection which is given just below the kneecap, and for 6 months the patient is fine. After 6 months, he will again go back to the doctor, and the doctor will inject another dose of the Humira, and for next 6 months the patient is fine. You see, there are so many medicines in the world which have not come to India at all. The reason why they don't come is because the doctors want to still run their business. They still want to make sure that the kneecap surgery is like lakhs together cost, right? Once the kneecap surgery is done, you're banned from sitting on the ground. You cannot bend your legs. There are so many restrictions on you. But there's already a better product in the world, which is a superstar. But they are not allowing that to come into India. Similarly, Ozempic is for your weight control, which is not done by a company called Novo Nordisk. But even that is of no use to anyone. But this, because of AI, now people have started realizing that there are better medications in the world which we can apply and bring it to the forefront, and the patients can be cured much better. Right? Apart from that, in the finance sector, let's move on to the finance sector now. Now, how many people are interested in day trading by or in the share market? I am interested. Anyone else? I'll give you some interesting things. Do you know what is the minimum return you can get if you get a good day trader? Suppose you are my day trader and you are a very good one, right? Do you know how much is the return on investment I can get from you per year? Minimum. It's 48%. Means 100 rupees that if I invest in you, by end of the year, you will give me 148 rupees. How is that possible? Because of this algorithmic trading. And it's very simple. algorithmic trading, it will just catch the pattern in which it is going, and it will hold your share or sell the share based on how the algorithm is working. You don't have to do anything. It is automatically doing all the job. And there are already softwares available in the market which will help you to do these things. See, this is like a passive income for you, right? I got 10,000 rupees with me. I want to grow by 50% by end of next year. I just go to a day trader and I'll say, based on, he will show me some charts, and based on those charts, and I'll say, okay, fine, can you invest this much money for me? He will invest and he'll give you some money. How AI is changing the all these things. Today, people are thinking that the traders in the share bazaar are the ones who are controlling the share market. They are not. In fact, the traders are controlled by these softwares in a way. It will clearly show you a pattern. Application is like fraud detection. Okay. There was a movie in the OTT platform called Isab Barabar. Anybody watched it? Madhavan has acted in that. What he does is, he goes to the bank and he says, my 27 rupees is missing. I was supposed to have 1,027 rupees, but it is only showing 1,000 rupees. Where is my 27 rupees? He flags saying that there is something wrong. Then they do a reverse engineering and they come to know that the owner of the bank has done a scam of 100 crores by removing 1 rupee, 2 rupees, up to 25, 125 rupees from each of the accounts. And it is happening today also. It is happening in your own accounts. You won't believe it, right? The savings bank rate of interest is around 3.5% per year. But you wouldn't believe it, you are only being paid only 3%. What happens to the rest 0.5%? The rest 0.5% goes to the bank. The bank will use that 0.5%. 0.5% for your account may be very less. But if you multiply that with the number of account holders, which may be crores of people, that 0.5% itself will be like 200, 300 or even 2,000, 3,000 crores. Who is using that money? The bank is using that money. If you do a part payment, if anybody has taken a personal loan, and if you do a part payment, right? Suppose I have taken 10 lakhs loan and 8 lakhs is remaining and I want to prepay, means I don't have 8 lakhs, I have less than 8 lakhs. I go to them and I say, I want to prepay this loan. They will put a restriction. They'll say only up to 25% you can. That means out of the remaining 8 lakhs, you can only pay 2 lakhs. Maximum is 2 lakhs you can pay. Even if you pay 2 lakhs, if you deposit 2 lakhs to the bank, when does it get reflected? It will only get reflected next month. Means from that point where you made the deposit to the point where it gets debited from your outstanding amount, no, who is paying the interest? Who is losing the interest? You are losing the interest, but who is gaining the interest? The bank is gaining the interest. All these are fraud detections. These are all AI tools which are doing the job. Means they are telling you that you are losing money day in, day out because this data is now being taken care. You could have done the same thing manually also. You could have done by looking at your own account. You could have done that. But if there are like thousands of accounts, you need a machine or an automated tool which will